Forget what you think you know about Paris. It's not about the Eiffel Tower sparkling at night or a perfect croissant in the morning. That's just the postcard. The real Paris, the one that breathes and lives, is found in the effortless, captivating grace of its women. It's in the quiet confidence of a woman in Montmartre tending to her small garden, the fierce independence of a business owner in the Marais, the creative fire of an artist in Saint-Germain. This is a story about them, the true heart of the city, their daily routines, their quiet rebellion, and the ancient art of being a Parisian woman. It's not about a destination, but a state of being, a spirit that has been cultivated over centuries. They say Paris is a city built on romance, but that's only half the story. The other half, the one that holds the city together, is built on the backs and in the hearts of its women. They are the ones who truly make Paris bloom. The air in Paris isn't just scented with fresh flowers from the markets. It's also filled with the quiet confidence of women who have long known their worth. It's a city where a woman's beauty isn't about perfection, but about an art form, a philosophy, a life lived with intention. Let's start with the morning light. In a small apartment in Le Marais, a woman named Camille wakes up not to an alarm, but to the first hint of sun on her face. Her routine isn't a long, complicated list of steps. It's a ritual. She doesn't have a dozen bottles on her bathroom counter. This may be 3, 4 at most. A micellar water to clean her skin, a light serum, and a moisturizer. She learned this from her grandmother. The Parisian beauty secret isn't in a product. It's in the simplicity. It's about not overdoing it, not fighting your natural self, but enhancing it. Her hair, a little bit messy from sleep, is perfect. She doesn't battle it with a blow dryer and 100 products. She might spritz a little something to give it some life or just let it fall as it is. It's all about that je ne sais quoi feeling, that certain something that can't be bottled or sold. It's a feeling of comfort in your own skin. Camille's friend, Elodie, lives over in Saint-Germain-des-Prés. Her morning looks different. She's an artist, so her routine is a bit more creative. She starts her day with a quiet walk, a stroll that's part of her process. She takes in the city, the old booksellers along the Seine, the chatter of a cafe opening up. For Elodie, beauty is linked to her art. It's in the colors she sees, the textures she feels. She doesn't wear a lot of makeup, maybe a bold red lip that she applies with a casual swipe, as if it's an afterthought. It's a signature, not a mask. This is a common theme with Parisian women. They have a signature. It might be the perfect red lipstick, a classic trench coat, or a single piece of vintage jewelry that they wear every day. It's a declaration of who they are. This approach to beauty isn't just about what they put on, but what they put in. The Parisian diet isn't about restriction. It's about a balanced approach to food, a love of fresh, whole ingredients from the local market. It's about taking the time to enjoy a meal, savoring every bite. This isn't a diet. It's a lifestyle. It's why you see women in their 80s looking so radiant. They have a connection to their bodies that is rooted in pleasure and respect, not punishment. Speaking of pleasure and respect, let's talk about their social lives and dating. Forget the movie cliches. Dating in Paris isn't a rigid, structured thing. There's no first date, second date code. It's more organic. It's about getting to know someone over coffee or a casual walk, maybe a drink at a small bar. There's a certain coolness, a distance that isn't rude. It's just the way things are. They don't rush into things. It's a slow, steady unfolding. The most romantic part is the way they let a relationship evolve naturally. The "what are we" conversation is often unspoken. You just know. This sense of independence and self-possession is incredibly attractive. Parisian women are taught from a young age that their happiness doesn't depend on a man, and that freedom is a huge part of their allure. Their independence wasn't just handed to them. It's a legacy they carry. The history of women's rights in Paris is a long, winding road of struggle and triumph. It wasn't long ago that women couldn't vote or even have their own bank accounts without a husband's permission. The French Revolution gave women a taste of political power, with women's clubs and protests, like the famous Women's March to Versailles in 1789, demanding bread and a voice. But this was quickly suppressed. Napoleon's civil code in 1804 declared women to be incapable beings, reinforcing their legal subordination. But women kept fighting. The 19th and early 20th centuries saw the rise of proto-feminist movements, with women forming newspapers and clubs, demanding education, equal wages, and the right to divorce. It wasn't until 1944 that French women finally got the right to vote, making France one of the last European countries to grant suffrage. The second wave of feminism in the 1960s, heavily influenced by thinkers like Simone de Beauvoir, brought about more personal and bodily autonomy. The right to contraception was legalized in 1967 and abortion in 1975. This history of defiance and perseverance is etched into the very fabric of the Parisian woman. It's not a footnote. It's the foundation of their confidence. Let's dive deeper into their lives in different neighborhoods. In Montmartre, the women are often artists, writers, and free spirits. Their beauty is a little more bohemian. They might wear vintage finds, mixing old and new with an ease that seems impossible. Their hair is probably a little bit wilder, their style more personal, less about following a trend and more about creating one. The women in the Marais, on the other hand, are often professionals, creative entrepreneurs. Their fashion is classic, but with a modern, edgy twist. A perfectly tailored blazer, a pair of designer sneakers. Their routines are efficient but never rushed. They've mastered the art of balancing a busy career with a vibrant social life. In the 16th arrondissement, you find a more traditional elegance. The women here are polished. Their hair is always perfect, and their clothes are impeccably chosen. They wear the classic French luxury brands, but they wear them with a quiet dignity, not a flashy display. Their social lives often revolve around intimate dinners and cultural events. The women in the 11th arrondissement are younger, hipper. Their fashion is a mix of street style and high fashion. They're the ones who are always in the know, who are experimenting with new beauty trends and challenging old norms. This diversity is what makes Paris so fascinating. There isn't one kind of Parisian woman. There are millions, each with her own story. And this brings us to the most important part, the influences. Parisian women are surrounded by art. It's in the museums, of course, but it's also on the streets, in the architecture, the way light hits a building at a certain time of day. This influences their style in a profound way. Think of the Impressionist painters, Monet's use of light, Renoir's focus on intimate moments. These influences are translated into their clothing and their makeup. A woman might choose a color for her scarf because it reminds her of a painting she saw at the Musée d'Orsay. Their homes are filled with art, books, and objects that tell a story. This isn't just decoration. It's a reflection of their inner lives. They are not just consumers of culture. They are creators of it. This same creative spirit extends to the kitchen. For Parisian women, food is an art form, a source of joy and connection. They don't just eat, they dine. They know where their food comes from, and they take pride in preparing it. It's about a balance of pleasure and health. It's a far cry from the diet culture we see elsewhere. This mindful approach to food is a huge part of their radiant beauty. Ultimately, the beauty of the Parisian woman is not a fleeting trend. It's a philosophy that has been passed down through generations. It's about confidence, a quiet strength, and an appreciation for the simple, beautiful things in life. It's the knowledge that you are enough just as you are. It's not about covering up your flaws, but embracing them as part of your unique story. It's about living a life that is full of passion, curiosity, and a deep, abiding love for the world around you. A Parisian woman doesn't need a perfectly manicured lawn to feel at home. She finds beauty in a small potted plant on her balcony. She doesn't need a fancy car to feel powerful. She feels it in the click of her heels on the cobblestones. She doesn't need to follow a rigid script to be herself. She writes her own. The true bloom of Paris isn't in its gardens. It's in the incredible, complex, and beautiful spirit of its women. This is a day in their life, a life that is a living, breathing work of art. And it's a story worth telling.